The boogers. Yeah, he just woke up. Oh, that slobber. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and I have a little boy named Cinco. He's 9 months. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe, like our video, and let's get started. Today's video is all about how I got my baby to sleep through the night at 4 months. Yes, 4 months he was sleeping through the night. Thank goodness. I'm a full-time working parent. My husband works full-time as well, so sleep is very important to us and helps us live a sustainable life. So sleeping was something I did a lot of research on, and I really was determined to get this baby to sleep through the night and dispel all the rumors or all the myths. You're never gonna sleep again, blah, 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 blah. Which could be true for some babies, but I was really determined to make this work. So I came up with 6 tips and tricks that will help any new parent to get their baby to maybe sleep through the night, or maybe just sleep a little bit longer than what they normally typically do. So tip number 1 is full disclosure. I took the Taking Cara Babies course. I found her on Instagram. I think it came up in my suggestions, but it was a very helpful tool. She is a labor and delivery nurse. I'll link her information down in the description box. It's $75 and she gives you a full PDF and video guide on how to train your baby to sleep through the night, self-soothe, and kind of alleviate some of the stresses that you do have as a new parent. So I definitely recommend that course. But if you don't want to spend that $75, because being a new parent, for one, is expensive. So any new thing, people are like, oh, spend this. I get it. It's crazy. But my little tips will help you out as well. But if you need a full-on class, I think she's great, and I totally recommend 10 out of 10. For tip number 2, definitely swaddle. So when we came out the hospital, they gave us, a regular swaddle. It was a blanket. We tied him up like a taco, and he was nice and snuggly and all of those great things. But once he starts getting a little bit about that 2.5, 3 month mark, he can start just stretching his arms and being able to break out of that traditional swaddle. So I would definitely recommend a nice Velcro swaddle. You can swaddle their arms because, their newborn reflexes just want to punch and kind of, they get startled. That startle reflex, that's what really wakes them up. So that Velcro swaddle kind of keeps them kind of snuggled like a burrito, and it keeps them snuggled throughout the night. So definitely swaddle. That's probably the main tip, is you need to swaddle them up nice and snug using the Velcro swaddle. Once Cinco turned about 3 months, we started using this Magic Merlin sleep suit. As you can see, it looks a little extreme. So I had Cinco in October. So when he was using the sleep suit, it was winter time. So it was great because it was a blanket, and it's very heavy material. So what it does is it puts a weighted, it mimics a weighted blanket in a sense, where the weight kind of pushes them, and it soothes them just a little bit longer, and they sleep pretty much through the night with this. So I stopped swaddling probably around that 4 month mark. I stopped swaddling and just kind of introducing this to him. The thing with this is you have to train. He gets so used to it. He sleeps through the night. He loves it. But then that's another transition method where you're going to have to transition him out of this, or transition him or her out of this into maybe a sleep sack or something like that. So just keep that in mind. After they start outgrowing this, once they can start rolling over in this suit, then it's time to transition them into just, your normal sleep sack. So there's going to be that transitional period where it's like, ugh, why are you keep waking up? But it's because you're transitioning them out of this into something else. So that's a thing to keep in mind, is when you're getting all these gadgets and things of sort, when you always are going to have to transition them out of it. So that's going to be a week or two where you're just like, oh my God, this is why I like my baby sleeping through the night. Baby Merlin's Magic Sleep Suit, we loved it. Like I said, it's nice thick cotton where it's a little heavy. So when they're sleeping on their back, it just kind of, it keeps them in the position. So their startle reflexes, all of that doesn't really happen in the middle of the night. So it keeps them nice and snuggly, and it's nice. It's easy to get them in and out. There's 2 zippers here. But I love the Magic Merlin sleep suit. I would probably use it if we have another baby. I definitely would recommend the sleep suit. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Target. I think I ended up getting this one at Target, but you can definitely find it on Amazon. You can find it directly on their website. But this keeps them nice and snuggly through the night. This is probably the biggest tip that would help any new parent out is full feeding. So it sounds crazy, like, oh, I always feed my kid, but he was pretty much on a schedule. I would offer feeding to Cinco every 3 hours. So he didn't always eat every 3 hours, but I would always definitely offer him a full bottle every 3 hours. So that also means is when he's taking a nap and I notice, oh, he needs to eat in 15 minutes, I would wake him up from his nap so he can have his meal after 3 hours, because the day goes by fast. So you think, oh, my baby probably ate 25 ounces. He ate all the bottles he needs, but in fact he didn't. So in the middle of the night, he's gonna wake up because he's hungry. So every 3 hours, even through his naps, I would definitely feed Cinco. So, so when he went down to bed, he was pretty full. He did not wake up. He didn't wake up in the middle of the night hungry. That's a huge pro tip is you need to feed your baby pretty much every 3 to 4 hours. We opted every 3 hours because in my eyes, if he didn't want to eat at 3 hours, we would try again at, maybe 30 minutes later or 30 minutes later after that. But either way, he would still get those full feedings. Full feedings is probably what's really important through the night. The 4th tip, it depends on, who you are as a parent. But right at that 3-month, 4-month mark, I was pretty much putting him in the crib. Some parents put their babies in the crib right away, which, girl, I wish I could do that. I was a little bit nervous when he was a few weeks old, a month old. Of course, I was like, oh my God, is he breathing? I think that's normal for a new parent. So maybe my second kid, I probably just put the baby in the crib right away. But we had a bassinet for the first couple months, and then I said, okay, it's time to put him in the crib, because babies stir in the middle of the night. They just stir. They just kind of want to stretch, and every move or every sound that he made, I was like, whoo, you up? Like, what's going on? Like, I would get nervous. So around that 3 to 4 month mark, I said, okay, let's try putting him in the crib, and we have the baby monitor on. Actually, he's asleep right now, so you can kind of see him. I don't know. I don't think I can get a good shot of that, but so you need to get a good baby monitor. So I was putting him in the crib, and I think that helped everyone out, because if he stirred or something like that, it didn't wake us up out of our sleep because we were already asleep. We had the monitor on, so if he cried or if he did, if he was just unhappy, we definitely would wake up and just go tend to him. But putting him in the crib did help better sleep. So I definitely recommend putting that baby in a crib as soon as you can. I know you want to snuggle, you want to hold, you want to do all those things, but if you want to get some good sleep, girl or boy, put the baby in the crib. And that kind of leads into my next tip. I would say, don't co-sleep. Don't co-sleep.
Don't co-sleep.
I know, that sounds crazy. And that pretty much Because say the baby is crying and you're like, oh, I just want to pick him up and put him back to the bed. Pretty much he or she's getting used to you. Just when he cries, like, oh, let's go back to bed with mom. And that will keep carrying on. So the baby needs to learn to be able to self-soothe themselves to put themselves back to sleep. So this 6th, 7th, 8th tip kind of just blends together, because my next tip was take that pause. You're sleeping and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you hear him like stir a little bit. Take a pause, take a breather, look at the monitor and see, are they really up? Are they really like, is something really wrong with the baby? Because a lot of times they can just have a bad dream, they could just be adjusting, they could just be stirring. And initially I would wake up out of my sleep immediately and go to Cinco. But now I learned, if I just look at the monitor, I relax, I just breathe, and I realize he's still asleep. He may be like whining a little bit, but his eyes are closed and he's still very much asleep. So when I went in there, I kind of woke him up out of that sleep just to comfort him when he was still very much chilling, you know? So definitely take that pause. I would say a good 5 minutes. It does, the pause gets a little bit longer as they get a little bit older. At 4 months, I know the pause was a little bit shorter for me. I would just kind of look and I was like, okay, I gotta get in there. But as they get older, just take a breather, sit back and relax. I know it's a little bit hard, but you can just look at the monitor and see, okay, they're okay. They're gonna be okay. A lot of times they're just whining in their sleep. They're just kind of whimpering and doing those things. And if they're able to, honestly, if you time it, it never takes longer than 5 minutes. It's crazy. They're able to kind of self-soothe themselves back to sleep. And those are things that they're able to learn to use that in their, when they get a little bit older in the toddler year. So I'm hoping that when Cinco's like 3 or 4, he would always just be able to not wake us up and sleep through the night. Who knows? Anyhow, definitely taking that pause and just really just honing in and just looking at the monitor and saying, okay, let me give this a couple minutes. I know he's crying a little bit. I know it's hard. It will really help out in the long run, especially when it comes to nap. And that applies to naps as well as sleeping through the night. If you apply these tips, you know, during the naps, it really will translate very well to nighttime sleep. So definitely, like, if you're like, I don't know how to do this while I'm sleeping through the night, try it during the nap time. It would really help you out. That's how we pretty much got Cinco to sleep through the night. Which said all my tips for Cinco to have him sleep through the night. Those were the main things. So like I said, every baby is a little bit different. What my baby does probably isn't what your baby does. I just wanted to share a little bit of our journey with all the parents out there that maybe is looking for just something a little bit easier and something that a little tip that maybe can help them out a little bit. Like I said, if you guys have any more questions or anything like that, please be sure to reach out to me. Leave a comment, subscribe, like our video. I would definitely recommend you taking Cara Baby's course online. You can find her on Instagram. Follow her on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram too if you're already there. But she does give a lot of really good tips and tricks for the baby, especially during those tough regressions or teething or anything like that. I just wanted to share a little bit of our journey, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.